Amnesty International is a non-governmental organization with its headquarters in the United Kingdom focused on human rights. The organization says it has more than 7 million members and supporters around the world. The stated mission of the organization is to campaign for a world in which every person enjoys all of the human rights enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and other international human rights instruments. Amnesty International was founded in London in 1961. Following the publication of the article, The Forgotten Prisoners, in The Observer on 28 May 1961, by the lawyer Peter Benenson, Amnesty draws attention to human rights abuses and it campaigns for compliance with international laws and standards. It works to mobilize public opinion to generate pressure on governments where abuse takes place. Amnesty considers capital punishment to be the ultimate, irreversible denial of human rights. The organization was awarded the 1977 Nobel Peace Prize for its defense of human dignity against torture, and the United Nations Prize in the field of human rights in 1978. In the field of international human rights organizations, Amnesty has the third longest history, after the International Federation for Human Rights and the Anti-Slavery Society. Amnesty International was founded in London in July 1961 by English barrister Peter Benenson. According to Benenson's own account, he was travelling on the London Underground on 19 November 1960 when he read that two Portuguese students from Coimbra had been sentenced to 7 years of imprisonment in Portugal for allegedly having drunk a toast to liberty. Researchers have never traced the alleged newspaper article in question. In 1960, Portugal was ruled by the Estado Novo government of António de Oliveira Salazar. The government was authoritarian in nature and strongly anti-communist, suppressing enemies of the state as anti-Portuguese. In his significant newspaper article, The Forgotten Prisoners, Benenson later described his reaction as follows. Open your newspaper any day of the week and you will find a story from somewhere of someone being imprisoned, tortured or executed because his opinions or religion are unacceptable to his government. The newspaper reader feels a sickening sense of impotence. Yet if these feelings of disgust could be united into common action, something effective could be done. Benenson worked with his friend Eric Baker. Baker was a member of the Religious Society of Friends who had been involved in funding the British campaign for nuclear disarmament as well as becoming head of Quaker Peace and Social Witness. And in his memoirs, Benenson described him as a partner in the launching of the project. In consultation with other writers, academics and lawyers and, in particular, Alec Digges, they wrote via Lewis Blom Cooper to David Astor, editor of the Observer newspaper, who, on 28 May 1961, published Benenson's article, The Forgotten Prisoners. The article brought the reader's attention to those imprisoned, tortured or executed because his opinions or religion are unacceptable to his government, or, put another way, to violations, by governments, of Articles 18 and 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The article described these violations occurring on a global scale, in the context of restrictions to press freedom, to political oppositions, to timely public trial before impartial courts, and to asylum. It marked the launch of Appeal for Amnesty, 1961, the aim of which was to mobilize public opinion, quickly and widely, in defense of these individuals, whom Benenson named prisoners of conscience. The Appeal for Amnesty was reprinted by a large number of international newspapers. In the same year, Benenson had a book published, Persecution 1961, which detailed the cases of 9 prisoners of conscience investigated and compiled by Benenson and Baker. In July 1961, the leadership had decided that the appeal would form the basis of a permanent organization, Amnesty. With the first meeting taking place in London, Benenson ensured that all 3 major political parties were represented, enlisting members of parliament from the Labour Party, the Conservative Party, and the Liberal Party. On 30 September 1962, it was officially named Amnesty International. Between the Appeal for Amnesty 1961, and September 1962, the organization had been known simply as Amnesty. What started as a short appeal soon became a permanent international movement working to protect those imprisoned for non-violent expression of their views and to secure worldwide recognition of Articles 18 and 19 of the UDHR. From the very beginning, research and campaigning were present in Amnesty International's work. A library was established for information about prisoners of conscience, and a network of local groups, called Threes groups, was started. Each group worked on behalf of 3 prisoners, one from each of the T